We hope you enjoy The Magicians, Dance of the Shadows by Rachel Lawson.
Welcome to our show, said an unseen man's voice to an audience somewhere on a stage of a small theater in Melbourne, Australia. The owner appeared on stage in a puff of smoke. Hello, I am Blake Fire, said the man, a stage magician in a black tux and top hat, looking very handsome. Another man in a tux wandered on stage. He was his partner in the act. And he is Max Starfire, my assistant, said Blake. Your assistant, my R, said Max, going silent when the stage manager screamed at him in his head on a hidden earphone. The audience laughed. Max, put a rabbit in it, said Blake, pulling a cute white rabbit out of his hat and giving it to Max, who fumed. You know I don't like animals, said the vampire Max, making it disappear into thin air. He was in a huff. The audience cheered, thinking it was part of the act. Blake made a dove appear, which flew off stage, pooping on Max's head. Max was not happy. Blake looked nervous. The audience laughed again. Apparently animals don't like you either, Blake said. The audience roared with laughter. Max looked annoyed. He made the poop disappear into thin air. Thanks a lot for that, deadhead, snarled Max. Blake, whose soul was a grim reaper, frowned. Blake sighed and sniffed in a breath of air. Then he sensed it, in the air, something he didn't want to smell. The smell of death. Not actually death itself, but the smell of someone ready to die and be taken to the afterlife for processing nearby. He thought it was coming from the audience. It terrified him. It was the wrong time. He could not take them now. He was on stage in full view of over 100 sets of eyes. To take them, he had to die himself, and he could not die or at least be seen dying, or he would be deposed as emperor of the solar system. Then his cousin, the masked chicken, would be emperor, and he'd be killed, and the empire would fall. He was scared. He felt his soul wanting to collect the dying person trying to escape him. Blake, are you all right? Asked Max in his head. Someone in the audience is dying, said Blake in Max's head. They were not human, and they were not charlatans. They were sorcerers, not merely stage illusionists. Hold on till the show's over, said Max in Blake's head. I'm trying to, but this is not like holding on to go to the loo. When Mortimer the Reaper comes out of me, I die, said Blake, frustrated in Max's head. Blake has to go to the loo, whispered Max in the head of the stage manager Dante Drac, who was a bit of a pen pusher. Blake, tie a knot in it, Blake heard in his head. Dante was a sorcerer, too. I'm dying out here, said Blake desperately in Dante's head. Tie a knot in it, Dante shouted back inside Blake's head. Someone in the audience is dying, Blake called out in Dante's head. I know they had a heart attack front of house. They told me I'm out front with them now trying to save them, Dante said in Blake's head. Save them? You are doing a lousy job, Blake snapped in Dante's head as he did a card trick. Stop bothering me, Blake, screamed Dante out loud. Everyone in the theater heard him. Blake was on the edge of death, about to drop dead. Blake collapsed and Max ran to his side screaming, Close the curtains! No! Screamed Dante. A grim reaper walked into the room and took the dying person's soul. Blake's down, shouted a stagehand as he ran to Dante. Blake? Asked Dante in its head. No, Lance. Why didn't you take them yourself? You're a grim reaper too, said the reaper, Blake's son. How is Blake? Asked Dante. He fainted, said the stagehand. Lance wandered off with the soul of the heart attack victim. Blake recovered but never forgave Dante for not helping. Years had passed since the performance ended, and Blake had lived 200 years in the past as another man, Fred, his grandfather, of all things. And Lance was going by another name, his real name, Lakelandite, and had a brother, also a time traveler called the Morganite, the Prime Minister of the universe. This adventure contains them all. It began like this. Welcome to my show, said the handsome stage magician, charmingly bowing to his audience. He was actually looking at an usher who was frowning at him disapprovingly. He's trying to win the audience, moaned the usher to another usher. Shh, hissed a man watching the show. The first usher scowled at them. The magician on the stage looked like it was Christmas. He'd seen his father being told off. Let's go outside, whispered back the second usher. Okay, said the grumpy usher. They sneaked outside where they could talk. Are you all right, Dad? Asked Morganite, the second usher of the first. I should be up there, not him, moaned the disgruntled usher, who was in fact the man who the audience thought they were watching perform. He won the bet. We lost it, said Morganite sadly. I'll never live it down, said Fred, the emperor of the universe, awkwardly. Nor will I, said Morganite, the Prime Minister of the universe, feeling ashamed and embarrassed. I could have sworn that alien was a woman I never heard of. Self-fertile hybrid tree men. Me either, said the Emperor, embarrassed. I wonder how Lakelandite knew, said Morganite. I don't want to know, said Fred. Me either, said Morganite. Smells like someone's about to die in there. Should we leave them for the necromancer? Asked Fred bitterly. He and his son Lakelandite, the necromancer, and Morganite were grim reapers who could smell death coming. No, we should do something, said Morganite. Can we let him stew for a while as he did with Blake? Asked Fred, who was a time traveler trapped in the past, born as Blake, his grandson. Okay, said Morganite, thinking his brother deserved it for not telling them the alien was a plant, and the last time someone died, Blake, their legal father, was left hanging. For a while, not forever, added Morganite, not at all sure it was the right thing to do. Fred grew happier as he never got on well with his son Lakelandite. They sat on couches out there, letting Lakelandite stew for his cruelty to them. 5 minutes later, Fred said, They're about to die. He'll be going mad. I'll go get them now, said Morganite, who was going crazy. No, not yet, boy, said Fred. I can't do nothing, said Morganite, being driven mad by his Reaper soul trying to escape him to take the dead person's soul. Hang on in there, boy, said Fred, who was suffering too, only his will was holding him back. I can't, said Morganite, who dropped dead, and his Reaper soul floated to the door of the auditorium. A bony hand stopped him from going any further. The Morganite Reaper looked at his dad, who was dead too. His soul was out of him now as a Reaper too. The soul is mine, said the insane Fred Reaper. No, it's mine, said the Morganite Reaper. They threw open the door and ran in, spooking the audience. The Reapers ran to the dead person, fighting each other for it. Their battle stopped when they heard a noise. It was a man splitting his sides with laughter. The Reapers looked at the owner, and he looked coldly back at them. Should have known you wouldn't be affected, you psychopath, moaned the Fred Reaper bitterly to the cold-blooded killer. Take that soul, guys, said Lakelandite, laughing again. He looked unaffected by the dying person. The Reapers took the soul and skulked off with their bodies from the other room and left to go to the afterlife world, where the soul was to be processed. In disbelief at how cold-blooded Lakelandite was.
Someone in the audience is dying. When Mortimer comes out of me, I die.